We now go to PressCorps Colonial Correspondent Mari Sharp, live out in the field.
You heard the man correspondents from across the battlefields of the Foxhole War. This is PressCorps Colonial Correspondent Mari Sharp, live from the old Jack Tar here in Endless Shore. It's day 96, 07:30 hours, and a large Warden counterattack is headed right this way. My goodness, what a clash. Colonials have managed to build themselves up a strong trench network with foxholes covering the flanks. But the Wardens are pushing through regardless.
Medic! I'm blood. I need a medic.
Collies meeting them in force. About 15 plus Colonials in the sector.
Oh shit, I mean you Warden scum!
It should be noted that the old Jack Tar has been held for several days at minimum. I'm not quite sure when they recaptured it, but enduring wake towards the relic bases southeast has just been recently captured in the past few hours, in the past few days, I should say. Lieutenant Finish Daily, you're live on the air here on Twitch radio services. I'm Mari Sharp, I'm with the Press Corps. What do you see out there?
Seeing lots of Wardens getting pushed back by some support from the AC. Doing a great job responding quick and getting out there and helping out the infantry.
Do you see any force multipliers for the Wardens? Or is it just an infantry push?
As I see it now, I only see the infantry, and it looks like they're held at bay for now.
And how long have you been in this area? Have you managed to observe the siege of Saltbrook?
Yes, I've assisted them in my own, taking out some structure, and helping just kind of keeping eyes on the field and giving people a heads up.
Okay, well, Lieutenant Finish Daily, thank you so much for your time. Duly appreciate it. Good luck out there.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Press, I've got a hot tip for you.
Yes, Captain Sanders of the 22 ACR. What's going on?
Look, I hear in this hospital up ahead, the Wardens are harvesting POW organs.
Oh, really? That's funny. I heard that from the Wardens as well, that you guys are doing that.
No, we'd never do such a thing. In fact, we ensure those kinds of facilities are no longer operational to take advantage of the fighting men of the Colonial Legion.
So you're saying they're harvesting organs, and you're making sure they're not, rather something more sensible, as in they're just recovering troops and making sure they get better?
That's not what happens. Come on, you know what a Warden is. He'd never do that, ever.
I don't know about that.
Subhumans.
That's filthy, Warden.
Do anyone have some?
Well, the fact that you're using subhumans might make me lean towards the fact that you either are lying or you're doing it yourself.
Oh, Press, you're funny.
Pick up the churches.
Okay, well, Captain Sanders of the 22 ACR, good luck to you out there.
121.
Well, this Warden counterattack has been broken, and collies trying to reclaim the territory. Mostly trenches out here, isolated trench networks.
We got one.
Collies were supported earlier by an armored car, although I'm not sure where it went. I think it fell back.
I need someone to help me carry these mortar rounds. Oh, shit.
Ooh, Warden mortar operating in the area. Tried to tag that LUV, was unsuccessful.
North Coast mortar operator.
That's confirmed. I think Warden mortar operating straight north. Colonial is going to try some counter battery action.
I got you. More rounds.
Lieutenant Colonel Freer, good to see you again.
Mari Sharp. It is? Oh, it is. I'm starstruck. No.
Oh, no, I'm starstruck as well. Your artwork is absolutely fantastic. And you know, hey, thank you so much for playing the radio on your broadcast. It's so nice to hear it syndicated elsewhere, although you probably don't want it right now. That'd be a weird feedback loop.
This time around, no. But I can't push you guys enough to everybody that's around. So.
Yeah, same here as well for you. Good luck out there. I don't want to keep taking too much time.
You too.
That's Freark. You can find him on the Freark broadcast.
Yeah, guys, 2 mortars with full equipment.
What a pal. Not sure where that Warden mortar went. He might just be... He might have moved on to something more substantial. Oh, Captain Viceroy of Texas. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
How have you been enjoying... That might be a weird word to use, but how have you been enjoying the 45th war here?
The what?
The 45th... This is the 45th war that's taking place between Wardens and Colonials. How long... have you been enjoying much of it?
Not this war.
Oh, no, okay.
Thank you for me.
Well, you're about to get thrust right into it here in one of the largest sieges we've seen in a long time. We'll see if we'll get close to Saltbrook.
Listen, I've been here since 14, and I say kill them all.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty up here.
About a third of the way towards Saltbrook. One of the first assets we're going to see...
75, 96.
One of the first assets we're going to see while approaching the Saltbrook outskirts is the hospital. The city's hospital, interestingly, located on the southwest corner of the town.
65, 96.
Colonials also have a strong position in Weathered Landing straight south of Saltbrook Channel. We are on the west flank of the city. So Wardens have a two-sided approach here in which to defend. They're going to be very careful.
55,
If they decide to counterattack.
Scratch out, they pulled out,
It's just on my dead.
Second Lieutenant Bon Jovi, how far are we away from Saltbrook Channel?
55, 96.
I'd say we're about 100 meters from Saltingrad, sir.
I see. So would you say that we're halfway there?
Down, hold fire on that.
I'd say it's been a long, hard fight, and I'll give it to the Wardens. They really know how to hold this
Stop
shithole of a
shooting,
town.
it's down.
2 colonial mortars operating in this sector, pushing the...
commit war crimes on them. Here to commit a lot.
I'm not quite sure what they're firing at. I don't have the binoculars on me, but certainly if they're smart, they'll use it on assets rather than infantry. But who knows? Maybe that infantry is really well entrenched. Maybe they've got HMGs.
55, 121. Watch out. Motorcycle coming.
Warden motorcycle plows through. I'm not sure if he actually managed to hit anyone. But he certainly tried to.
Come back here.
Blue motorcycle just blazing past the colonial position. He will most likely be killed within the next few minutes, but for now he's evaded all those shots. And what you're hearing is the sound of the latest machine gun. I'm actually not quite sure what the name of it is. I think the medium machine gun. It's mountable. These aren't your blocky yellow machine guns, HMGs anymore. These, I think, if I'm understanding this correctly, they have tripods?
That's so annoying. Move.
Move up! Come on, let's go!
Viceroy of Texas, Captain Viceroy of Texas, attempting to rally troops. Heading forward. Ward is in the trench nearby. You're gonna have to fall back just a bit. Colonial scavengers operating here, trying to recover whatever ammunition remains. Colonial combat engineers extending trench networks wherever they can. This is a good, multi-pronged, multifaceted approach towards Saltbrook, and that's exactly what's needed. That's the minimum you need in order to actually take Saltbrook.
Oh my sweet Jesus!
And even then, it may not be enough. The only piece missing here is some sort of armor, including armored cars. Certainly, supplies are abundant. We've seen the old Jack Tar. Collies have a strong position there.
Good Mother Russia. Keep digging.
There's mortars. Who's your friend mortars here?
Ooh, blue mortar lands in that collie position in the trenches, smack dab. Lots of bleeding collies. Medics move up to try and treat whoever they can, but they have to be careful that they don't get mortared themselves. We're seeing flare rounds come down on our position. Interesting, considering it's 1100 hours. It's almost noon here in day 96. However, it should be noted that flares also have the ability to spot infantry on maps. So not a useless venture. Flash through the Discord wire. The Colonials have lost Callahan's Gate in the Deadlands. That is one of the first major incursions we've noticed in the past few weeks into that region. Could signal a larger Warden push into the Deadlands, which the Collies have held very decisively. They have locked it down for the past, 60 plus days, I want to guesstimate. Additionally, alternatively, it could simply just be a raid, trying to draw Collies rushing into the region and take their attention away from elsewhere, so we will keep an eye on it. But for now, Collies gaining some ground, about a third of the way left to go here. Saltbrook Hospital just 100 or so meters away, but Warden's firing back with counter battery, not afraid to use mortar rounds on infantry, especially when they're clumped together. Most of the time, good sense would argue that mortar shells, in particular mortar shells, are best used on structures. Simply because they're just that precious and they're that useful and they're that accurate. You don't want to use them against infantry. However, that either indicates that the Wardens don't know the full extent of the resources that they're using when launching mortars at infantry, or alternatively, they're either that abundant in mortar shells, they don't care if they're using it on infantry. They just have that much of an overflow. So we're going to have to find out just how long they can sustain the bombardment. But so far, it seems the Warden's using the mortar shells to directly target very mobile infantry. They're going to have a tough time doing that.
Alright, move in, boys. Let's rush.
Squad of about 10 plus Collies here in this latest push, but make no doubt about it. Collies are running amok elsewhere, including south of our current position at Weathered Landing, as well as more to the west in the old Jack Tar.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
We've approached our first destroyed structure, this first ruined house, and we are just a stone's throw away from the hospital. A couple of Colonial units trying to come out of the woodwork, get up close and personal to these Collies, which may be what's needed to actually eject them, break them and eject them. Warden mortar continuing to lob shells down the lane.
Alright, let's keep pushing in.
2 seconds, 1 second.
Alright, move out. Let's try up there.
Again, if you're just joining us, I'm PressCorps Colonial Correspondent Mari Sharp. You're tuned in to 121.5 WPRSS Sunhaven. It is day 96, 1300 hours, and we are just outside Saltbrook Channel here in Endless Shore. Collies, the latest offensive, the latest attempt to take the town. Sizable amount of infantry, a little less than I would think to actually capture it, so this might be just a small incursion. Warden armored car, I think that's a Warden controlled Warden armored car, operating. If so, I don't think the collies have, I don't know if the collies have their armored car as well. We did see one several minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago, but I don't think it's come back. We're gonna pull back just a bit because I don't know where that armored car is going. Colonials taking cover from that AC, but they're still taking pot shots at it. They are undeterred. I don't know if any of them have enough ordnance to actually take that thing directly, but certainly sustained small arms fire will scare it enough to force it to fall back. Flash. The Colonials have taken Blackwatch. They have taken Blackwatch in Godcrofts. That town, Blackwatch had fallen earlier, a few weeks ago, from Warden counterattack. But it seems the Colonials have retaken not only Anchor Beach, the relic base south of the town, but Blackwatch itself. No doubt collies will have a very strong position if they manage to lock down the southwest corner of Godcrofts. So it makes sense that they will attempt to do so. Wardens still in the region, still in the area, however, attempting to eject them once more. Flash as well. The Wardens have taken Callahan's Gate in the Deadlands. So it seems the Wardens are trying to break back in to the Deadlands. This isn't just a small raid. Callahan's Gate has been retaken, and that is a substantial sign, or for the Wardens, a promising sign, that they will try to take back their beloved region. Not just that, but Abandoned Ward itself. Abandoned Ward, the crown jewel of the Deadlands, often a point not just of strategic value, but of ego as well. It's often been surmised, and you take it as you will. It may not be the most accurate piece of advice, but it's often been said that whoever controls Abandoned Ward controls whoever controls Abandoned Ward controls the fate of the war. And so far, that has held true, at least in this vacuum. Collies holding on to Abandoned Ward and the Greater Deadlands for the past several weeks, 50+ days. Plenty more action taking place here in Saltbrook Channel if you're just joining us. Collies still holding the position, however tentative it is, still holding the position just outside the city outskirts, making use of this first destroyed house. That's significant because that is the official beginning of the break into Saltbrook Channel, at least in this instance. I'm sure the Collies have tried multiple times, but here we are, here we stand at 1400 hours. And
alright boys, let's move into the hospital.
It seems the Wardens have fallen back, either because they were forced to or they chose to. We'll find out in a few moments. We're going to be careful to avoid clusters of infantry, simply because Wardens have repeatedly shown they are not afraid to use mortar rounds on infantry. It should also be noted, I'm actually not familiar with the layout of this city. It's been so long, it might have changed multiple times. It could be a mortar garrison house. And if so, that is a nigh infinite supply of mortar rounds to shell to rain down on your opponent. If it's a mortar house. That would be very smart to take use of.
Oh, thank God, as I say.
Collies moving on to the next block, taking over 2 new houses, as well as the field hospital. The field hospital here in the southwest corner. The southwest corner of Saltbrook Channel has been overtaken by Colonials and are using it as a firing port That is, I'm more than positive that's a breach of the Sunhaven Convention.
Good boy, yeah.
But the collies here don't seem to care. All sorts of fighting happening around me with a plethora of weapons. You're hearing the latest model of the medium machine gun. I believe that's its title. Please correct me if that's incorrect. But yeah, the medium machine gun. I think that is tripod based, and it requires 2 personnel to set up, carry and set up, and then LMGs as well as SMGs abound. To an old veteran returning to this war here in the 45th, they might seem like a whole new world. And certainly with the trenches, it is.
Fully equipped.
Nice. Where's the enemy vehicle?
I don't know. I would assume it's the east. Because that's where we're going. East.
We have entered the destroyed hospital here in Saltbrook Channel.
Oh, no, he's dead.
Colonials using it as cover and are firing out the window. No wounded here. Goodness, that thing is loud.
I am taking this too serious.
Boom, 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 boom. Machine gun firing in the adjacent household.
There you go.
It's a bloody affair here in Saltbrook Channel. Collie infantry mucking about the alleyways, trying to gain whatever angle they can on the Wardens, and the Wardens keeping a sharp eye out for just for that. Garrison houses firing with absolutely no hesitancy whatsoever. Collie's taking care to either avoid that house or simply apply pressure on it with small arms fire. Every little bit helps. Although there is always the possibility that a Warden engineer is trying to repair it. Colonial medics attempting to bring the critically wounded into the into this hospital, I should say, this city hospital, but it's been abandoned, it's been destroyed, so they're not going to get any refuge here. They're going to have to bring them further back where hopefully someone's built a field hospital out the ways. I am currently reporting from the southwest end of the town, right next to the hospital. I cannot see mortar rounds firing nearby. I cannot make any visual confirmation if the collies have actually broken into the southern or southeastern ends of the town. But make no mistake, this is a city under siege. Colonials reported at the vehicle factory and are approaching to the 2 factories, the 2 critical factories.
I have no commands!
Here at Saltbrook.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hearing reports that the Garrison House may be destroyed now. One of many. They've got plenty more to go.
They're dead. Good shit. Someone get this man a minute.
Warden's taking a lot of casualties here, but they're making progress. It's making something. We cannot confirm if the bridges leading into the northern half of the town are still up. I've seen plenty of city sieges in my time, and usually by now the defending side will have just taken down the bridges in an effort to cut all ties.
Fought long and hard for this. Pushing to the
Collie's moving into the next house.
Yeah, pushing that house.
Collie's taking care to avoid groups simply because that Warden mortar is still operating. Hasn't fired yet in the past few minutes, but it's still operating here.
We must destroy enemy breach. nothing. Oh. Over there.
We got logistical. Go to the bridge.
There's a garrison house we're gonna take out. This one.
Blow that thing up.
We are seeing members of the 404th operating here in Saltbrook, as well as KOP,
What is it?
and one ARC. I can't confirm if any of this is a concerted outfit approach. Oh, whoa, hey, look at that. Fresh mortar round landing on Kali infantry.
Suppress it, go.
Oh, I wish I had my earplugs.
Go, if anyone has got more, 2 more rounds on this buddy.
About 50 meters gained in the past 20 minutes. That's about how it goes here in city sieges. Oh, it's a fight.
2 more rounds, coming back, 2 more rounds.
Colonials just maintaining fire superiority on that garrison house. It's a block by block battle. That's the 3rd garrison house, I believe, that is under fire here for the Collies. And without mortars of their own, I'm not sure. I think they have more. Oh, hello! A couple of casualties from that latest mortar round. Warden smartly targeting those with the heavier weapons. Not a bad idea. I'm gonna fall back. Medics rushing to pick up the wounded. Warden still within frag grenade range. I haven't heard a grenade launcher, so it is fierce fighting.
But I got a drum.
But still, no matter how much of a wall of bullets the Wardens put up, Colonial infantry continuing to pour into the southwestern corner of Saltbrook Channel.
I'm out.
Oh, crap.
Green infantry now making physical contact and taking cover behind the factory.
I need a bandage. Hey,
Must destroy the bridge.
Wait, that's funny.
Garrison house is down, boys.
Bandages.
Take this shit.
Confirmed, another Warden garrison house destroyed. Colonial trucks arrive at the scene
Does anyone have spare bandages I
to
can
distribute
have so I can heal
more
people?
supplies.
Or do stuff like that? He's on that. Kind of too far away from the
Oh boy. Warden mortars now unafraid to fire on their own factory here in the southwest of Saltbrook. And honestly, who's to blame them? If you're going to lose it anyway, might as well deny it.
Hit. We're here to do that, boys. We need
No, wait, don't do that.
Collies now a stone's throw away from the western bridge, which leads into the northern half of the town. About 25 plus Colonials up. Whoa, Collies operating in this area.
Oh shit.
Thank you to you. Colonials are now on top of the factory. They have climbed the boxes, the various boxes and crevices and corners of the factory in order to gain a height advantage. They are on top of the factory and firing down below. Colonials have now captured a howitzer as well. A howitzer, so they might use it against the Wardens in the north. Very critical capture if they can use it. Warden garrison house, preventing the latest Colonial push, but Collies are applying the same plan. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just constant fire superiority on that on that garrison house. Flares now descending upon the Colonials. Hello, oh yes, sorry, it's so loud here. Captain Tenoxis, the 321st. Yes, well, what do you have for us here? You're live on the air.
I need you to crouch.
Whoa!
Just come over here. Come over here.
Okay, we'll follow as close as we can. Warden howitzers now descending upon the area.
I need a stationary emplacement. Someone.
Captain Tenoxis of the 321st has with him a machine gun, but he needs something to put it down on, or a tripod at least.
Get us closer.
Lot of ordnance landing among the Colonials, incurring lots of casualties, but the push is holding. But it's bound to be a meat grinder here very soon as they approach the bridgehead. I still can't confirm it. Is the bridge still up? Oh goodness, is the bridge still up?
Yes.
Down the streets.
Western Bridge is still up. Thank you to Lieutenant Finish Daly, who's applying a counter battery, or at least a mortar.
Thank you, Doc.
The medic needs a medic.
Finding some refuge here in the abandoned vehicle factory. Warden truck still in its docking. Medics here taking a small respite, but it seems I think a lot of infantry has been ejected from the roof of that factory. An astounding play by the collies to use the roof of the Warden factory to their advantage. Warden garrison now still here, however. This is a deciding factor here in the push to take the southern half of Saltbrook. Can the collies not only hold the southern bridge, the bridgehead on the south side,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
but can they take out the Warden safe houses as well? Safe houses are much stronger than your typical garrison house. They do have shielding against fire support, so it's going to take more than a say again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, nothing. It's something that you can get.
Oh, okay.
I just need bandages. I'm a medic, so yeah.
It is just so loud here. My apologies for shouting, but that's what I need to do in order to hear myself. Lot of fire support from the Wardens here. But I think it might be a guessing game. We saw some flares deployed earlier. And I'm going to keep away. If any Colonials I can see using fire support, I just want to keep away from them. Because counter battery might come down at any moment. Colonial armored car also arriving on the scene, but I don't know what he can do with that. The moment he comes to the front, the very tip of the spear, the moment he comes close, he's going to get bombarded by fire support as well as a barrage of bullets. So he might actually be best letting the infantry take this. Now, if it was a tank or a half-track, that would make more sense. But for an armored car, it's just too fragile here in the city fights, personally speaking. Warden still holding, physically holding the second factory, the one on the closest to the east and closest to the safe house. Thank you again, as always, to all those who follow the broadcast. Spread it through word of mouth, and really anyone who listens. We duly appreciate it, and you make it all worthwhile. And in fact, if you're just joining us, it is day 96, 2100 hours here at Saltbrook Channel, Endless Shore. Colonials for the past several hours have been attempting to get closer and closer to the bridges that separate Saltbrook. They managed to break in through the west. A very decisive push from the old Jack Tar after breaking a Warden counterattack.
Let's go, guys. Let's rush. I'm with you.
And have now
I'm with you guys. Let's rush.
Decisively made their way here just outside the bridges and the safe house. If they can take out the safe house and claim the bridges as their own, that will be a very solid hold onto the southern half of the city. But the Wardens are not giving up, not anytime soon. Not while they have those, what I presume are mortar houses, as well as plenty of fire support and the stockpile to the north. So Wardens here, plenty of fights still left in them, and the collies, they're going to need to maintain 100% pressure in order to, if they want even a chance in hell to take this town. But my goodness, it's a fight. It's an ugly fight, a city fight, one that is hostile to all forms of human life.
Guys, we need some basic matter. Deal basic matter.
My goodness, the western factory, of the two factories that are here in South Saltbrook, one of them has been destroyed, the one that the Colonials have been holding. And it seems the fighting has moved further east, even closer to the safe house that still stands. But fire support still landing very close. I think they've spotted that armored car in repair. That armored car is going to have to move out. Officer Cadet Domitus Biba, he's still repairing away. The next shot may land smack dab right on the money.
Waited 15 seconds.
Oh, there it is!
Middle of the road to go back and set my spawn point. I did all of that, and we came up there in time.
The gamble did not pay off. This armored car gets tagged with a mortar round, and I think it's going to be destroyed. It is disabled. Engineers desperately trying to get it back up to at least move it out of the way. Oh my goodness! Armored car goes down. Armored car destroyed. Warden fire support smack dab on the money, and he's still firing to make sure no one recovers the contents. Yeah, I don't think armored cars are going to make a lick of difference here in the intense city fighting.
Let's run.
It's all down to fire support now. It's down to fire support and whoever has the most supplies. Whoever breaks in terms of the supply lines here first, they're going to fall.
But you're gonna die.
So you need to get some high ground. You have to get some
Collies still running
It's
about
a game, man. It's
here
a game.
among the destroyed factory. More flares. The moment you see that flare, you're going to have to get the hell out of there, because that means more fire support's following up.
Look like I give a damn. I will bend your sorry ass over that fucking box over there, and I will punch my dick down.
Alright, that's one way of motivating.
There are a lot of them.
Oh. Shit, on the hill, on the wall.
I'm on street to street fighting here on these more southern edge of the city. It should be noted for reference that the Colonials have the old Jack Tar to the west of our current position, as well as strong positions in the south at Weathered Landing.
Everything's just lagging out for me.
And despite the approach from Weathered Landing, Colonials trying to break through, they have not, whether they can or can't, that's up to them, but they have not actually taken the southern approach of the city. Warden's still holding on to it from their houses. So far, the only progress the collies have made is straight west. A very thin stretch of land, about 75 meters.
Wait for that.
And the collies are packed tight into there.
Better firing positions.
And that's why the Warden fire support has been so effective.
Once we push them back, I know exactly where to go at the...
Warden!
Enemy Warden.
Keep moving.
K-47, keep
What
looking
the
in that
fuck? Why am I
direction. with
shooting
this
it?
We should leave. Oh, okay,
Come on.
Night has fallen. It is 2,300 hours. Visibility down to 15 to 20 meters. That's going to make any enterprising infantry who just does not care about their life. They're going to get in close and personal with a shotgun. And they're going to try and clear out some enemies, some opponents, up close and personal. fire support.
Ready medic.
Not
Up,
as
up, 10
intense as it was earlier. No doubt it's still firing.
How many decades?
But its rate of fire. Oh, actually, no. Here we're hearing howitzer rounds now. We heard mortar rounds, but now howitzer rounds. I think no. Never mind. The howitzer that the Colonials have managed to capture from the Wardens here, just outside the factories, I think has been destroyed.
So guys, we're gonna wait.
That was one of the first things that the Warden fire support on the northern half of the city had destroyed. That's very smart. And it seems the Wardens here own the zone in terms of fire support. That's going to make the Collies' job that much harder.
Oh shit.
I mean, the best thing would be... Not at all, of course. And how
I think
got on the factory?
I think confirmed we've got two
How did
two
I get
mortars,
Have those mortars back?
that?
probably
On the
mortar
factory.
houses,
Follow me, I just found something.
two mortars and a howitzer operating on the north end of the river, north end of the channel, and the Collies, I don't think they have coordinates to actually take those things out, or the range.
Okay.
Lieutenant Finnish Daly, you have binoculars on. You've been trying to launch mortars on the north end of the town. Have you spotted the Warden mortar houses or howitzer that's been firing continuously upon the Colonial position here?
No, I have not yet.
Hey, we took our mortars that were up Peter.
Find them.
Okay.
Take out the bridge.
Understood. Okay, well, good luck to you.
Medic!
Warden's closing in.
Yeah,
They're launching small counterattack actions. I'm gonna guesstimate about 10 Wardens fighting back here that I can see immediately, I should say. Very possible that there's more. A lot of these alleyways blocked off by barbed wire. That was very smart for the Wardens to do. Maybe the Collies did it themselves. They had to protect their flanks. I don't know. Lieutenant Colonel Freak, we spoke with you earlier, and now here we are again, several hours into the city siege. What's it been like for you?
It's been hell! I've had people die in my hands. It was horrible. I had to wash for 3 days and bathe, and still blood on my hands. I can't take it anymore.
Tell me, do you think the Colonial attack here has petered out? Do you think they'll be able to hold, or do you think the Wardens here are going to eject the Collies from the town?
I hope we can manage to push through, because otherwise it's been an utter waste of lives here.
Mm-hmm. The last question here, what is the biggest obstacle right now for the Collies from taking this half of the city?
That is a good question. I think we're kind of bucked down at the bridge, and we can't really push through at the first bridge to the east, but I'm not entirely sure anymore.
Right. He's probably talking about the western bridge. Is the bridge still up? Is it still operating?
Last I checked, the bridge was still up, but it
Really?
might by now be down. Because there's heavy mortar fire everywhere. And
That's what I
howitzer
figured as well,
things.
yeah.
We'll
Okay,
see.
well.
We'll see.
Freak, thank you so much for your time again, and good luck to you out there.
Anytime, Maury. Anytime.
Lieutenant Colonel Freak, you can find him on his broadcast as well. Twitch.tv/Freak, F-R-E-E-K. That's probably it. I don't know, just look at the listings. Oh goodness, so much quiet now. I think I got my ears back. Now here in the darkness, I don't know how many watchtowers the Collies have up, but then here in the darkness, they have to watch out that the Wardens don't make use of it and flank behind the Collie position and cut off the only logistics route that they have into the western end of the city. Actually, I take that back. I think
let's take down those garrison houses so we can take the town.
They have a tentative southern approach as well, a southern supply line into the southwest corner. Basically what I'm saying is here, the hospital that is in the southwest of the city, here at Saltbrook, still is a juncture. It's kind of a juncture between the roads that meet. I'm saying a lot of redundant here things, please excuse me, but and I think the collies hold it for now. But the southern approach, the northwest road, it has been under consistent Warden watch. Warden howitzers firing upon these colonial trucks. We've got 4 trucks lined up back to back, bumper to bumper. I don't know why they did that, because that is well within range of the Warden howitzers. Howitzers have ranges, effective ranges between 75 to 150 meters. And if it's close enough to the channel, that is more than enough room to hit these trucks. And yet, colonial ambulances entering the fray, regardless of the howitzer landings they've seen.
Doctor, medic.
We'll see if if the Warden howitzer pays any mind to the Sun Navy Convention and fires upon these ambulances. Colonials far from falling back, at least currently. However, Wardens are putting up a stiff fight, and it seems colonial momentum has slowed down significantly. That is good news for the Wardens. If they maintain this howitzer fire, a truck, you just heard a truck destroyed. Collies now are smart enough to pull these trucks back. I don't think they care about these ambulances. Ambulances disabled and trucks on fire. Collies took it too close. Played Icarus with these things. And the Wardens have shown that they've drawn the line. Kind of, actually, I don't know. We don't know how far they can shoot. Warden's getting in very close, up close and personal.
You got friends ahead.
Whoa, goodness. Hey, hello there. The lines are now very, very porous. You don't know who's behind you now. I've been running into Wardens here in the alleyways where I thought I was relatively safe, at least from direct Warden encounters, but that is no longer the case.
Right side of the road, you guys. This is not some jungle.
Oh, there we go. Warden shotgun. He's raiding this the western road. And he retreats into the darkness. Captain Commissar of the 22 ACR, you're live on the air here on Twitch Radio Services. You've got Wardens running about here in the darkness, getting behind colonial positions in what were once claimed blocks. What do you make of the situation here at Saltbrook?
Yeah, I've been flooding it for about an hour now, dropping mortars on them. They're just dying. They're running. They're out of leadership, and they're hopeless.
I don't know, but it might still be there.
Victory is assured. It is just a matter of time.
Okay, a lot of confidence here. I'm noting a lot of confidence. How do you feel about the Warden mortar houses and howitzers that have been consistently firing upon the colonial infantry?
They're firing blindly into the darkness, whereas our own mortars are pinpoint accurate in taking out those structures. They have nothing left. It is simply a matter of time.
Okay, and then last question. Your last question. Do you think you'll be able to take out the Warden safe houses, those hard points?
Yes, all it takes is colonials with guts, and we got plenty of those up here. This has been a message from the commissariat to the people. I assure you victory is but hours away.
Okay, Captain Commissar, the 22 ACR Armored, what's it stand for again?
22 Armored Cavalry Regiment.
Cavalry, there you go. I'm a cavalry regiment. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck to you. Well, we've fallen back to what I hope is a more defensible and safer position. But honestly, here in the darkness, who knows? Wardens, it seems, looking at the map here, Wardens they haven't captured the factory, but they have physically reclaimed, positioned themselves at the factory that the Colonials once held, and now it's a firefight between the two, using the factory as the main dividing line. So Wardens reclaiming small bits of land, small bits of city streets, and that is not good for the attacking Colonials, who need every ounce of momentum they can get every time the Wardens launch a counterattack and push them off of territory that they've spent so many lives on. That is another moment that the Wardens have to further entrench themselves and further supply the north half of the city at Saltbrook, the famed city of salt that the collies haven't even touched yet. I think some mortars may have been landing there on the north end of the town, but here in Endless Shore, the Wardens have lost the town of Wellchurch. The town of Wellchurch currently unclaimed, no colonial capture on the town yet, but it seems here as the Wardens were preoccupied at Saltbrook, the collies made some offensive action there, possibly raiding the town. We'll watch for a colonial capture at Wellchurch. That is about 100, 200, more or less 350 meters east of Saltbrook Channel. The eastern middle thirds, hope that makes sense, the eastern middle thirds of Endless Shore, currently unclaimed, both Tuatha Watch Post and the relic base at the Evil Eye, home to the rocket launch site as well, both of them unclaimed. And looking further east, Colonials making good headway back into Godcrofts. They had taken back Blackwatch earlier, but the Wardens were able to take it out. So it seems the fight is now over the bridge that connects southwestern Godcrofts to southeastern Godcrofts at Isawa. Collies managing at one point, weeks ago, taking the town of Protos and breaking into Weathered Expanse for just a few days before they were pushed out. So the line now backed up to Anchor Beach, more or less, for the collies in Godcrofts. In Marben Hollow, Wardens did hold the town of Lockheed, but the collies breaking back into that region, and it seems the collies more or less just concentrating their defensive positioning around the town of Lockheed. They're going to have to lock down the bridges at Lockheed Breakers if they want to actually hold on to that town, and they may not want to venture past that. In the Deadlands, the famed Deadlands, Warden offensive action descending upon Callahan's Belt. Earlier, we had reported that Callahan's Gate had been taken by encroaching Wardens, and now it seems that offensive has finally come and pushed further west. Callahan's Belt is under attack. Collies just across the street from the town, the relic base there at Callahan's Belt, threatening the colonial position in the northeast. If the Wardens manage to capture Cal's Belt, then that means they'll have plenty of options in which to take Iron's End, take Callahan's Boot, maybe jut southward and take the Salt March. And every minute that passes here, the Wardens gain territory in the Deadlands. That is another step towards Abandoned Ward, the crown jewel of the Deadlands.
Please tell me you're making a howitzer, right? You're making. Yes.
Looking at the Linn of Mercy as logistics behind me, logistics around me continues their work. In the Linn of Mercy, collies holding on to the Prairie Bazaar, but they had lost that town of Outwitch Ranch. Such a bloody push weeks ago to take Lothair, which is the high watermark of colonial offensive action, I believe. Further north, Lothair, such a strong hold on those bridges, but they just weren't able to hold it. Probably because the Wardens had approached from Cal's Pass. I can't confirm that, but Outwich Ranch, now under Warden control, back under Warden control. Macaulay's falling back to Fort Duncan, the land passage onto the Prairie Bazaar. Some Warden action, actually managing to cross the bridge at Fort Duncan and are now on the Prairie Bazaar side of the River Mersey. So collies are going to have to want to contain that if they want to hold on to the town. However, across the river, again further west, collies taking the first coin in Lynn of Mercy and seem to be making new headways into the southwest and western halves of the region at Lynn. Taking the first coin and are now approaching the Crimson Gardens. Whether they'll go for Crimson Gardens or rather just go bypass it altogether and go straight for the kill at Ulster Falls, we're not sure. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And in the Orebreaker Isles, Wardens locking down the regional borders between them at Postrus and the Spearhead. That's the regional border between Orebreaker and Ferenic. Excuse me here. But I think for the most part they've got it locked down because there have been multiple attempts by the collies to break over. And I think we are down now to the collie push in the south central Orebreaker Isles. Collies taking the relic base at Cofteri Channel and are now moving up the strait, up the peninsula, and are trying to break into Integrum. So we'll keep an eye on that. If the collies can cross the bridges, actually I don't think there's a bridge there. No, there is. I think there's a creek. There's a small creek that might be able to actually cross, maybe even swim across. But if it's a slow going, they'll have to be careful because the Wardens do hold the Integrum observation tower, and that gives them wide range to see what's going on. Oh boy, back here in front of me, the Wardens have launched a massive counterattack, and about 30 plus infantry now operating at Saltbrook. In a small outbreak here at Saltbrook Channel. Collies now pushed out, effectively are now pushed out of the outskirts of the town and are now backed up to the trenches that they had once claimed from the Wardens, and they still claim it for now.
Boys, can I give my...
But it is now house on trench fighting as the collies have reclaimed and are defending the outer boroughs of Saltbrook Channel. And the collies desperately trying to cling to the ground they had gained.
Oh no, guys. Captain!
If you're just joining us, it is day 97, 0640 hours. Here outside Saltbrook Channel and Endless Shore, and during the nighttime, Wardens able to effectively counterattack, applying a lot of fire support. Howitzer, and I think up to two mortar houses firing on colonial positions in the city, able to pin them down and push them back once sunrise hit here. And again, we've got about 30 Warden infantry in the area.
What I like to see.
Reinforcements for the collies arriving as well, so they're not giving up. They're going to try and hold on to this sector as much as they can. But the fighting is getting real close to the collie line, in some cases in the collie line.
Do you have any rifle ammo? Do you have any spare? I need to sleep on here.
Warden flank along the banks of the channel. Wardens climbing the rocks above Kali so they could use that as a barrier, but it seems some wardens are now climbing it and are trying to get an angle on the colonial flank here.
Drop me a hammer, please. Anyone have hammer? I need a hammer.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. My goodness, so much Warden movement in the city. It seems Wardens are now pushing. This is a huge counterattack from the Wardens, going not only westward towards the colonial positions just outside the city, but also southward towards the Kali holds at Weathered Landing. Kali's beating them in turn. But it's anyone's guess as to who will break.
I love your song, Bon Jovi. It's my life.
Colonial howitzer firing here. You just heard it, firing the back line. As to whether it connected with Warden infantry, I don't know. But what's most important is that it is here, and the Wardens know it. They don't know where exactly it is, but they know it. It's operating, and it's hitting them. So that'll be a new objective for them to work towards. Here and amongst the going in and around the area. Oh, hello, check. Ralphie, can you hear me? Mari Sharp to Ralphie, 121.5. I think we're gonna have to cut to mute. Is not maintaining. I repeat, our signal.
You're tuned to 121.5 WPRSS Sunhaven, serving the disputed Siva Valley War Zone. PressCorps Radio, home of the finest corps of journalists since we last received funding. For more content, including